going to do a quick share of my shopping. So I've just done Shop Your Stash, and so I'll just pull aside the embellishment bits and pieces that I have collected. I'll go through them shortly. I based what I collected of these on these papers. So I went through my pile of papers that I hadn't used yet, and I pulled out some different ones. So this one is from one of the mix-ins, and it's there. So I've chosen 6 pieces of the pattern paper. On the back we've got another mix-in. It just proves how much I like the mix-ins. This is another mix-in. I don't believe they were all from the same mix-in set. This one is a 'Tis the Season paper, and this one is Postcard Perfect. And we have one of the Celebrate Today bulk papers here. And plus I've got 3 pieces of the White Daisy cardstock. So the sides that are showing at the moment are the ones that I sort of based what I was going to build this kit around. These were from one of the recent workshops or the kits that I haven't used as the kit that they were meant to be. I also pulled out some of these flowers, thinking they could tie in quite nicely. I grabbed some of the acrylic butterflies and some of the acrylic hearts. I went through my embellishments. So what I do with the embellishments at the end when I've used most of a kit, I sort of cut around them. So here's a sticker that I've cut around, for example, from one of the sticker sheets, and I pop them in some different pockets. So one of the pockets was words and quotes and things like that. I've actually got 2 pockets of those. So I've gathered a few from there that I may or may not use with this kit. So some of these could work for titles, or they could just be little additions on the page. I've got a few more there, some little quotes and words and statements. And so I was looking at both the colours and thinking about how that would all work together. So we've also got some leftover letter stamps there. I grabbed one of the little location dots from one of the wood things, and then I also have other little stickers and envelopes for different things that could go with this kit. So I've got a bit of gold in there. The other thing I went through with in regards to embellishments, I got some ribbons that I thought could work with it, and I also pulled out 2 packs of the threads. So I've got the silver and the sapphire there ready to use. I also went through all of the Picture My Life cards. Some of these are part of the sets. So this was the Celebrate Today type collection. One of them's an older recipe one. And there's just a few different ones there that I felt the colours went, and the sentiments or the sayings that were on them went quite nicely as well. So I have got a pretty good collection there to start with. The other thing that I pulled in thinking, okay, what else might I be likely to use, and to add a bit of a challenge, is I've pulled in some stamps. So I've pulled in one of the this is Splash of Colour Essentials. It was a year or 2 ago now, but it's just got some different bits and pieces so I can add some effects. I have got the Story FYI stamp. Recently saw Stacey talking about this and using it for extended story in one of her presentations, and I hadn't bought it till then, but I have now. This is another old one as well, Way to Go Essentials. I chose this just because I wanted to be able to pull in some banners and some different bits that I might want to use to change up the pages a wee bit. And I grabbed this one, which was This Happened Stamp of the Month. And I got this because I wanted to be able to pull in some florals and some foliage and things that I might pop on there, and these could be quite handy for some embellishments and journaling too. I have also got some letter stamps. I have got the cricket, and I have got our foam alpha so that I can add titles to these pages. So essentially this is my kit ready to go. So after putting the kit together and creating some pages, I'm left over with some bits and pieces that I will now well, after I've shown you these pages, put back in my embellishments bags. And I'm just going to show you the embellishments bags. Basically I grabbed some cheap Ziploc containers, and I've sorted things out. So here's my wooden embellishments, here's some of the threads and fibres. I've sorted, these ones are sort of the flowers and foliage, and then I've got 2 bags of the different words and vocabs. So it was just, I cut them out of the sticker sheets, popped them out of the die cut bits and pieces, and then sorted them into the different sections, so that when I'm creating some leftover pages, I can just delve into that and use what I want to. So you can see that I've actually made quite a bit of headway through lots of the bits and pieces. I didn't use it all, but that's okay. I did use some of these, each of these threads, and some of these different bits and pieces from the stamp sets. The one I didn't use was the flower one, but I made use of these other ones as well that I'll show you in these pages. So I'll just pop this out of the way. So the first page I actually put together was this one here. So you can see that I did use that banner. I backed it with some of the different papers. The 6 papers that I had pulled out were double-sided, which meant I did make use of the other side up here. And you won't be able to see it very well in this light, but I did put some shimmer brush over top of the words and in each of the pieces in the banner. I got the idea from the idea book that is coming out in May, June. One of the layouts used the triangles, and so I just thought, right, I'll give that a go. So I've used the sapphire thread down here for some stitching, and that stamp for some banners, just to change up the paper a little bit. And I also went into my collection of glitter dots and things like that, and popped them on the page just to finish it off. So that's that one. The second page I worked on was this one here, about the beach house. I did use the stamping here in the background, as well as lots of splattering with the shimmer brushes. So they are tucked in there, and there's the FYI Story by Stacey stamp. The next page I did does have these very corally, beachy colours to it, which ties in nicely with my sister-in-law and my niece's tops. It doesn't, I brought in a little bit of this blue that you can see popping up there through the background. And again, just finished it off with some dots. So this is just 2 pieces of the pattern paper that I had used. So I'd used parts of that one there, and so used a little bit of it here. So I chopped into that, and I'd used parts of them here as well. So on the back, you can just see where I joined 2 pieces of pattern paper, and I left their zip strips on, so it's got a top and a bottom. Now the next one I did, which is very rare for me, is actually a double page spread. So I did this basically using the white cardstock that I'd popped into that kit, and pieces of all the other different papers that I've used parts of in here, to put strips down the bottom so that the pages are connected, and again up here, as well as the reds, tied them in together, and the little circles that I popped in, plus I fussy cut the flowers out from that patterned paper. So that's 3 single layouts and a double layout from that kit that I made up. Plus I've possibly got enough bits and pieces here if I wanted to go on and make some cards as well. So there's still some scope for creativity from that 1 week kit that I popped together. Thank you.